Hello, today we will talk about data validation in Excel. If you remember some time back, we talked about drop downs in Excel. That's a kind of data validation. So I will give a quick refresher on drop downs and other data validations, and then I will cover something very interesting, very important, which is the custom data validation, which if we need to use is very important tool in your toolkit. So let's start it. Let's say we have this data set, which you can see on my screen, and we need to restrict, and let's say we are a small delivery man, we are a small delivery company, we are a small Amazon, and we want to deliver um, our parcels to certain states. We want to deliver parcels to Ohio, Michigan, and New York, for example. So how do you restrict this? How do you create this drop down list? As I had covered earlier, go to data, go to data tools, go to data validation, click on data validation. In data validation, what I have done is I I have restricted it to a list type. So instead of selecting any value, which is the default, I have restricted it to a list type, and I put the list of values which I want in my drop down. So as you can see, I've restricted it to Ohio, Michigan, and New York. And these are the only values you can select in this dropdown. Now, there are other kinds of validations also. If we go back, if we see the data validation, you can restrict it to a certain date between a date. You can restrict it to a certain time. You can restrict it to a certain text length. Let's try one more before we go to the custom validation. Custom validation is the last one in this. So let's try the one with the maybe text length. So let's say our order numbers, which is the first column here, our order numbers are always between 1 and 4, four characters, four numbers. So we should get a error if our order number is more than four numbers. So in this case, what we can do is we can again go back to data, data tools, data validation, and say the text length should be between 1 and 4. So the length of the text should be between 1 and 4. What that means is that if we go here and put a order number of, let's say, 23, it should allow it. If we put a order number of 1, it should allow it because the number is only 1. If we put a order number of 1999, let's say, it should allow it because again there are only four. The text length is between 1 and 4. But if we put an order number of 19999, it becomes 5 characters. So it shouldn't allow and give us a error. And that's what it does. When you try to put this value, it gives us an error because we have put a data validation in this column, in this cell, sorry, which says that the text length has to be between 1 and 4. And since it was not between 1 and 4, we got an error. Similarly, when we put a drop down here, we restricted the values to these three values because we selected a data validation type of list. So this was restricted. We try to put here, let's say, um, different state, Florida, let's say. We try to put Florida here, enter, get an error because Florida is not a valid list drop down type. I think you got the point. Now let's try our custom validation. So if you go back to data, go back to data tools, click on data validation, select custom. You have to put a formula when you do a custom. So in this case, we are putting a formula which says weekday, E2 is the cell number here, less than 5. What that means is that when you put a weekday formula, it returns your values like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 days of the week. Less than 5 means the weekday has to be between 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's try that and see what happens. That will be easy for you to understand. So let's say we put today's date, which is 2023-02, which is February 05, the 5th of February. It allows us. Now let's put tomorrow's date, 02, and today is, by the way, Sunday, so it allowed us. Let's see, tomorrow is Monday. It allowed us. Let's put Tuesday's date. It should allow us. Let's put Wednesday's date. Okay, let's put Wednesdays. It allowed us. Let's put Thursday. Let's see what happens. Gives us an error because if you remember, we put weekday E2 less than 5. So Sunday is 1, 2, 3, and 4. It allowed us the 4 days. The fifth day, it gave us an cancel it out. Go to data tools, go to data validation. Let's say make it less than 6. In this case, each, because the formula goes each cell. Let's put Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Let's put Thursday here. What happens in this case? Allowed us because now the weekday formula says less than 6. So the only 2 days it should not allow are Saturday, Friday, Saturday. The days 6, 7. Let's put Friday. What happened? Did not allow us, gave us a validation error. Let's put Saturday. The next Saturday did not allow us, gave us an error. Let's put next Sunday. Let's see what happens. The magic should happen. Saturday was 11th, 12th. How does that's how this formula works. So all we have done is data validation, which says that the weekday which is returned in the cell less than 5. All right, I think you got the point. How you can validation question comment. I shall be happy.